Hey there, TRASTRA fans. Welcome to episode 69 of the TRASTRA Newsreel. Despite the broader market's challenging macro environment, Bitcoin's third quarter outlook appears promising, all due to the recent rush of applications to launch spot ETFs, which has injected a tremendous amount of optimism into the crypto market. However, again, regulatory pressures and macroeconomics could dampen this optimism. The Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates and the ongoing regulatory uncertainty make America look very bad in front of the UK, Hong Kong, and the European Union. Although Binance continues to be methodically pushed out of Europe, there's some alarming news on that front. We'll talk about that later in the video. What else? Litecoin's price has surged by 8.3% to $116. It's the highest since April 2022, driven by bullish sentiment ahead of its block reward halving event in August. The event will reduce the Litecoin network's mining reward per block from 12.5 LTC to 6.25 LTC, theoretically reducing the amount of new supply. Analysts predict Litecoin could rally toward $140 ahead of the halving, with some expecting the price to reach $200 around the time of the event. Also, Litecoin's listing on EDX Markets, a new institutional crypto exchange, and BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF filing have boosted Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash's status on the market. I mean, very encouraging news for TRASTRA fans who are invested in these two oldest assets in the cryptoverse. We actually support Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash from day one of TRASTRA, so watching those assets perform so beautifully is a real pleasure. Still, Litecoin's daily relative strength index, RSI, was above 70 on July 2nd, indicating an overbought state and raising the chances of a correction in the coming days. So that's the skinny, and now let's dig a little deeper. The Binance saga continues. Crypto exchange Binance informed users that its current Euro banking partner, Paysafe Payment Solutions, will no longer support the exchange after September 25th. Binance said it will switch to a new service provider for Euro deposits and withdrawals via SEPA bank transfer, single European payment area bank transfer, that is. TRASTRA does that as well, though it doesn't name which provider that would be. In recent months, Binance has faced waves of backlash from regulators worldwide, leading to a cessation of operations in various countries. We actually have a bunch of videos on that on TikTok, so make sure to subscribe to that channel. There may be a longer wait for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, as the SEC labeled recent applications inadequate. The SEC told the NASDAQ and the Chicago Board Options Exchange that their filings are not sufficiently clear and comprehensive. The regulator returned the filings, citing the lack of information regarding the proposed surveillance sharing agreement. Asset managers can still resubmit their applications, though. Fidelity did just that, resubmitting paperwork for the Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust, the spot Bitcoin ETF, following BlackRock's filing for the iShares Bitcoin Trust. But this time around, Fidelity's application includes a surveillance sharing agreement to address SEC concerns, but the regulator has yet to make a decision on the new applications. Cathie Wood's ARK Investment Management also has an earlier application pending with the SEC. ARK and 21 Shares filed their third application for spot BTC ETF in April and amended it this week, including a surveillance sharing agreement, making it similar to BlackRock's filing. Since BlackRock's application on June 16, other investment firms such as Valkyrie, WisdomTree, and Invesco have reapplied for spot Bitcoin ETFs. WisdomTree has refiled for a spot Bitcoin ETF despite previous rejections in 2021 and 2022. The firm's global chief investment officer, Jeremy Schwartz, believes that the outcome could be different this time due to their successful product launches in Europe. The SEC had previously rejected WisdomTree's applications due to insufficient investor and public interest protection. Schwartz hopes that changes in the new filing, including data sharing agreement and surveillance sharing, will address the SEC's concerns about the market manipulation. On the latest episode of The Scoop podcast, micro-strategist Michael Saylor told The Block, one of my favorite news sources in the cryptoverse, that he sees a potential spot Bitcoin ETF as a significant milestone on the path to institutional adoption. So Saylor says, we bought it at 10,000, we bought it at 20, 30, 40, 50, we even bought some at 60,000, Saylor said on the firm's Bitcoin strategy, describing it as a form of dollar cost averaging. Saylor acknowledged that he underestimated Bitcoin's volatility, but remains confident in its potential for widespread adoption. Quote, I didn't think it would draw down to 16,000. It turned out to be a bit more brutal this cycle, he said. On the ordinals debate, yep, there's actually such thing as ordinals debate going on right now, believe it or not. Saylor said that Bitcoin protocol should just be left alone. Quote, just like if you open up a bakery and you sell those really awful sawdust donuts, it's a stupid idea. I wouldn't invest in it. I wouldn't buy your sawdust donuts. You'll probably go bankrupt, but I don't think the mayor should pass a law saying you have to get permission before you sell your sawdust donuts in my town, he said. This guy is like Elon Musk of crypto. He just has no idea when to shut his mouth. Anyway, FTX has filed a lawsuit against a former regulatory and compliance executive at the exchange, alleging he made a series of payments attempting to prevent staff from blowing the whistle about the exchange's antics. Daniel Friedberg, who held multiple leadership roles at the exchange, is accused of making hush money payments, that's a quote, hush money payments, to two potential whistleblowers to stop them from leaking information about regulatory issues and the close ties between FTX and Alameda Research. Let's see how that plays out. In its legal dispute with the SEC, cryptocurrency exchange Bittrex has submitted a motion to dismiss the case. In its recent court filing, Bittrex argues that the SEC does not have the authority to regulate cryptocurrencies as securities unless explicitly granted by Congress. This assertion challenges the SEC's interpretation of existing securities regulations and seeks to establish a better defined regulatory framework accommodating digital assets. In its motion to dismiss, Bittrex has adopted a similar approach to Coinbase, aligning its arguments closely with those made by the cryptocurrency giant. This alignment indicates a strategic move by Bittrex to ride Coinbase's coattails all the way to the Supreme Court and capitalize on the robust legal framework established by the moneyed rival. We'll see how that plays out. I'm skeptical to the gills, but we'll see. According to a June 27 report titled Q2 Rec Report, that's a quote, Q2 Rec Report by D.Fi. I guess that's how it's pronounced, Web3 portfolio app. $204 million was lost in DeFi hacks and scams in the second quarter of 2023. A total of $208.5 million was initially lost during the quarter, but $4.5 million was recovered through prosecutions, dealings with hackers, and other recovery methods. The number of DeFi hacks in Q2 rose by a factor of 7 year over year, with 117 incidents during the period compared to only 17 in the same quarter of 2022. 7's a magic number, as you can see. A total of over $665 million was lost during the first half of 2023. A reminder is due here, these are not real dollars, those are cryptocurrencies supposedly worth that amount, so keep that in mind. 6 Clovers, a provider of multi-chain payments infrastructure for digital assets led by ex-PayPal executive Ching Wen and Nas Kavian, has launched a Versal Network on the Sui blockchain. This decentralized global payment network aims to simplify cross-border transactions using 6 Clovers crypto payment system. The Versal Network, the Versal, I guess it's Versal after the palace in France, so I'm gonna say Versal. So the Versal Network, integrated with 6 Clovers API, enables real-time payments with stablecoins and stablecoins and CBDC, central bank digital currencies. The Sui blockchain, which launched its mainnet in May 2023, has a maximum supply of 10 billion Sui tokens, with 14% available for investor purchases. It sports an 11.65 million TVL, a 24-hour trading volume of $2.5 million, and a 7-day trading volume of $17.76 million. Paxos has partnered with online marketplace Mercado Libre to introduce the Pax Dollar USDP stablecoin to users in Mexico. This integration allows transactions through Mercado Pago, Mercado Libre's digital wallet app. With over 60% of Paxos active wallets supporting customers in Latin America, this move strengthens its position in the region. The USDP, regulated by the New York State Department of Financial Services, has reserves of cash and cash equivalents. On a recent episode of Bankless podcast, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin has revealed that he only stakes a small fraction of his ETH due to the complexities of setting up multi-signature wallets. Buterin explained that the keys to access staked ETH must be public on an online subsystem for safety, and multisig for staking is still fairly difficult to set up. This revelation drew a response from Charles Hoskinson, Buterin's nemesis, co-founder of Ethereum and a founder of Cardano, who expressed astonishment at Buterin's revelation and stated that all of his Cardano is staked. I'll let that sink in for a second. Staking is too extreme for the Ethereum co-founder. Does that mean that mere mortals like you and myself should stay away from this stuff? I'll let you be the judge of that, but just give it some serious thought. Another comment the weird Vitalik had made on Twitter on different occasion is that he feels sympathy toward crypto projects like Solana, targeted by the SEC's recent enforcement actions against crypto exchanges. Quote, The one comment I'll make is that I feel bad that Solana and other projects are getting hit in this way. They don't deserve it. And if Ethereum ends up winning because all other blockchains are getting kicked off exchanges, that's not an honorable way to win. And in the long term, probably isn't a bit of victory, end quote. A reminder, the SEC lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance in June. The regulator named over a dozen tokens, including Sol, Matic, Algo, and several others, saying they're all unregistered securities, but Buterin feels Ethereum's true competition lies in the expanding centralized world rather than other blockchains, and hopes all honorable projects involved had a fair outcome. Okay. Ubisoft, the creator of Assassin's Creed, has announced the next Web3 game, Champions Tactics, Grimoria Chronicles. This player versus player tactical role-playing game will be Ubisoft's first game built on the Oasis blockchain network, which has also attracted interest from gaming giants like Squeenix, Saga, and Bandai Namco. The game will be released on PC via a dedicated desktop application, and the official website teases a free drop at launch to enable gameplay. This suggests that Champions Tactics may require an NFT or a token of some sort to play, but Ubisoft will be offering those for free, at least initially. And finally, here's something cool. According to the Wall Street Journal, crypto mining companies are repurposing their idle mining rigs for artificial intelligence applications as the demand for high-end GPUs soars. Again, companies like Satoshi Spain are reprogramming their machines to handle AI workloads for startups, universities, and individual developers. The shift comes after the Ethereum network ended the practice of mining for new coins, freeing up tens of millions of GPUs. Around 20% of these can be repurposed to train AI models, according to Vipul Vedprakash, CEO of alternative cloud provider Together. That's the name of the company, Together. The company has leased thousands of GPUs to power its cloud service for AI developers. Similarly, a startup called Monster, another very original name for startup, Monster, has access to over 30,000 chips, most previously used for mining, that its customers can lease. However, repurposed mining rigs often require significant investment to handle AI workloads. For instance, data center company CoreWeave invested heavily in new high-end NVIDIA data center chips costing $30,000 each to rebuild its machines. The company recently raised $400 million from NVIDIA and others so things are really well underway. This is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. More importantly, do not forget to subscribe to our TikTok, where we keep the short ones, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.